To keep yourself updated, subscribe to IndigoLearn and click the bell icon and download our app OneFin to start learning on the go.
Hello friends, today we are going to talk about the November 23 CA final SFM preparation plan. I know that there are hardly 2 months left or 2 months, a week plus or minus there left, and SFM is a very important paper. Two reasons, FR and SFM are very important for CA final students because one, they set the tone. They set the tone for your rest of the exams. If these papers go well, you are in a positive tone of mind or positive bent of mind, your other exams go well. Two, these papers are highly scoring papers. So if you manage to score very well, they'll help you in aggregate, they'll help you in rank, they'll help you, get exemptions and all of that. So these two subjects, FR and SFM, are very important for CA final students. So today we are going to talk about SFM November 23 preparation plan. I know we have close to 2 months left, so we'll make it a 2-month plan. And friends, please note, SFM as a subject, because I'm a SFM teacher, I love the subject, but even otherwise, it is a very interesting subject, both from your exam as well as career perspective. Now, key points that I want you to remember. SFM, especially in the last exam, when I'm referring to last exam, May 23, was slightly twisted. It was a twisted paper. It was very similar to past questions, but there were twists in each and every question had a twist. So it's a very welcome development because if you ask me, they are testing you on the right things. Of course, I always have problems with the institute when they ask wrong questions. That's a different matter, but they're at least moving in the right direction by asking you twisted questions, and you feel very happy when you are able to answer questions like that. So that is one thing I want you all to remember. Why is it that I want you to remember? Because conceptual clarity is super important. It cannot be compromised. So even if you have just 60 days, right? 60 days, still, even then, you should focus on conceptual clarity rather than blindly solving problems and trying to say, I will solve the problem and through that I will understand the concept. No. I have to understand basic concept, then solve the problem and then try and iron out any issues that you have in concepts. So even though you have 60 days, that is one very important thing. Second very important factor, see your exam, right, consists of 2 parts. This is 80% which is practical and this 20% which is theory. And largely, SFM students tend to focus on this. And almost, if not, I've known so many of our students who say, sir, theory kuch kar lenge. Theory will figure out. I'll study in the last day. I'll study 2 days before. I have some very interesting news for you, news that will shock you. Okay, so theory, according to me, is also very important. According to me, theory is also very important. Why? Because it is super simple. Because it is super simple. Why am I saying simple? I will tell you. I will just wait for a few minutes. You will see in the rest of the video why I am saying theory is simple and at the same time very important. Right. Now, the point that we have to note is, they are not giving you straight questions. They are giving you slightly twisted questions and they want you to think. They want you to think. You will be able to think only if you have the knowledge. If you have done a lot of questions, if you have managed to, understand each of the topic and concept very well. Now, please note we have about 14 odd chapters. And in these chapters, there are some chapters which are fully theory, there are some chapters which are fully practical. Now, let me first come to this entire practical part, which is 80% of the marks. Now, most of you are aware, or if you're not aware, I'm making you aware now. We have released something called as a compiler v1.0. This is available in our free resources. This is available in our free resources, or you can also access it by typing in onefin.in/SFM_compiler_v1.0. Now please note, this particular compiler has 522 questions and it also has 522 answers. So what happens is, I have put in all the effort to ensure that you get access to 522 question and answers which consists of study material, past exams, MTP, RTP, and also practice manual and external like CFA or so on and so forth. So I have made to make a compilation or a list of all the questions, and these questions are unique. You may have one or two here duplicate questions, but 99% of the time the questions are unique. So you're not actually wasting any time. So if you have a look at it, this is the compiler that we gave. Okay, now that also has a formula sheet, by the way. So this is the compiler that we have given. In this compiler, chapter by chapter, I have covered questions. Chapter by chapter, I have covered questions. There are about 550 odd pages, okay, which has 520 plus questions. See, my suggestion, please solve, if possible, 520. I know you may have other subjects, so on and so forth. However, if you don't have time, if you are already a repeater, if you're writing the second time, third time, my suggestion is every day spend 2 hours, at least 2 hours. And in these 2 hours, please try and solve the questions that I'm listing out. Now, what are the questions I'm listing out? Let us see. So, chapter by chapter, from my compiler, these are all illustration numbers in my compiler. Okay, these are all illustration numbers in compiler. So, in risk management, please solve questions 1, 2, 4. Okay, in this derivatives, futures and forwards chapter, solve these illustrations. Like that, chapter by chapter, I have given you a list of illustrations. Now, where is this list available? It is available as description as part of this video itself. Okay. Please solve. See, total there are 523 questions, out of which I have made a list of 200 questions which are very, very important. Now, this list I have made it based on past exams, especially last 3-4 exams, thinking on the way in which they are coming out with questions and all of that. So, if you can solve these 215 questions, I am pretty sure that you'll be 99 or probably not 99, 95% well prepared. So, 95% well prepared. If you can solve these 215 questions, and that also for 80 marks, right? For 80 marks, you will be 95% well prepared. Please note, these questions I have specifically gone through the compiler, seen every question, every solution, checked whether what concept it covers, how has it been covered in the past, what concept you are supposed to know, all of that. So, I have made a list of 215 compilations. Please go through this. And please, my suggestion to all the students is study for SFM every day. Don't have this bucket of I'll study for 10 days, I'll study for 7 days. You may have such a bucket. Despite such bucket, please at least go through the formula sheet once a day. Now, where is this formula sheet? Again, this formula sheet is in my same free resources. Go to free resources, go to notes, go to CA final. In that, you will find my formula sheet. You can download this formula sheet, and please note, a lot of you have a habit of reading formula sheet just like that. No. The idea for formula sheet is that formula you should remember when you are solving the problem. So, my suggestion, actually work on your last day revision notes now. So, when you are revising the formula sheet, create your own last day revision notes chapter by chapter. And these notes can be 1 page, 2 page, 3 page per chapter. See, because I have heard of this very wonderful story. Last day revision ke liye they go for and follow somebody else's notes. Arey, what is nonsense is that logic? You studied, you prepared, you understood everything in one style. But for last day revision, you will follow somebody else's last day revision notes. What is that nonsense? You are supposed to prepare your last day revision notes, boss. That is how you are supposed to study. You ask any ranker, you ask people who have got exemptions, you ask people who have got 90s. They do that only. They don't follow somebody else's things blindly. They create their own stuff. If you have to succeed, if you have to pass, you have to create your last day revision notes from today. You understood? From today, you have to start creating this last day revision notes. And this formula sheet, it's some, I think about 6 or 8 pages probably. You can take this formula sheet, use it as a guidance and create your own stuff. Create your own notes, your own formula sheet, or create your own, basically your last day revision notes. So, where is this formula sheet available? onefin.in/SFM formula. This is available there. Go and download it. And the purpose of this formula sheet is not that you read it. Purpose of this formula sheet, when you're solving problems, refer to it and create in your own way, your own method, a last day revision notes. Okay, so this is the second one. If you're not able to get any of these documents, just go to IndigoLearn.com. or onefin.in. Both of them take you to the same website. In that, go to free resources. In that, go to notes. That, go to CA final. In that, you will find this document. So, what have we discussed? Two things. Create your own last day revision notes. LDR. Very, very important. Create them from now. Okay. Solve these 200 plus problems which I have listed. Third, very, very important thing which comes to this part. This 20 marks theory. So, I have done something very, very wonderful. A lot of you will be very happy with it. It is known as SFM T290. It's a theory compiler. It's a theory compiler. What's a theory compiler and why is it T290? It has 290 questions. T means theory, 290 means number of questions that it has. And this is again the V1. Now in this, I was telling you about something very, very important, which is theory is important and it is also very simple. Why is it simple? So look at this graph. I have tabulated the questions in the last 5 years, probably 10 odd attempts of the new syllabus. What are all the questions that have come? From which chapter have they come? And what is the exact question? And so on and so forth. And you know what is very, very surprising to note? Startup financing. This chapter, questions were asked 21 times in 10 attempts. Or rather, 21 questions were asked in 10 attempts. That's the right way. Securitization. 13 questions were asked. What are these questions? I have listed them below. Thoda patience. Risk management, 8 questions. Financial and corporate strategy, 6. Interest rate risk management, 6. If you actually study even these 5 chapters, you will be in a very, very good position to score close to 15 marks. Okay. So, it is a very easy thing, boss. And I have listed down these questions. I'll show you one more also. What are these questions? See. Startup financing, bootstrapping. This question was asked 4 times. This question was asked 4 times. Securitization benefits, 3 times. Interest rate risk management, swaption, 2 times. Startup financing, stages of VC financing, twice. And characteristics of VC financing, twice, like that. And derivatives, commodity derivatives, embedded derivatives, like that. Everything. I have listed all the questions. And I have seen that if you prepare these 5 chapters here, startup financing, securitization, risk management, interest rate risk management, financial policy and corporate strategy. These 5 chapters alone, there is a very, very high probability that you will get close to 15 marks out of 20 marks. See, you are struggling in practical questions because you have not understood the question, there is a complication, there is a twist, you forgot the formula. Isme kya hai? What is there in this? There is nothing in this. Theory, and these questions are also super simple. If you come down here, financial policy and corporate strategy, totally there are 20 questions, out of which 5 have been asked in the past exams. I have listed them also. So, I have done all the work for you. Okay, your job is now only to study and pass. Risk management, 9 questions have been asked, out of which 6 are past exam. Then, security analysis, 18-1. Startup finance, 11 questions are there, all 11 have been asked in the past exams. 11 questions are there in the chapter. Now, how did I arrive at these 11 questions? I have taken the study material, I have taken my notes from that, and I have taken the past exam question papers, combined all of those, created questions, looked at the questions what are there, I covered the entire chapter and figured out that there are 11 questions. Out of those 11, all 11 have been asked. So, you see what an important chapter this is. What is startup? What are its key characteristics? Then, what are sources, innovative sources of financing? Then, what are components of pitch presentation? Every single question. And I have given it in a super simple, bulleted, easy to understand, with the charts, with diagrams, you see. Everywhere I have given detail. And I have given it in what? A handwriting font. A lot of students have been asking me for notes in this kind of font. Okay, because apparently it is very, very easy to read. So, I completely appreciate what you guys are thinking. So, we have come out with this in same font what you want. So, I have given 11 questions in this chapter, startup financing. Entire chapter is fully covered. And note, my friends, all 11 questions have been asked in the past exams in one way or the other. Okay, so now coming back, this is roughly about 165 pages, contains 290 questions. Out of these questions, you have been asked these kind of questions these many times. I have marked questions which have not been asked in past exams but are important. Okay, considering all of that, if you go through these notes and spend some time, you are assured of out of 20 marks, 15 marks at least you are assured. Okay, so I want you guys, when you are preparing for SFM this time, please prepare for theory also. A lot of students I know generally casually throw away. Theory dekh lenge sir, theory will figure out sir, practical is more important sir. Arey sir, kya? If you are not passing the exam, what is the use of all this? So you have to give up on your such preconceived notions and start focusing on theory also. So where do you access this theory compiler? Again, same place, which is free resources, notes, CA final and SFM T290. And you can also visit this page directly, onefin.in/SFM T290. This has 290 questions. That covers everything, 100% of the entire subject. And I've made it very, very easy to understand with decent analysis also. I've done some analysis paralysis as well, so that you know what you're supposed to concentrate on. So my dear friends, my suggestion is please visit this SFM T290 page, onefin.in/this. Please visit this page, download this compiler as well and work with these three things, which are what? Practical compiler, theory compiler, formula sheet. If you solve these three, or if you access these three and put in genuine efforts, I can assure you there is no way, okay, there is no way that you will not succeed in the exam. And in addition to all of this, I also have one more recommendation. Because the institute is coming out with these twisted question papers, I would strongly suggest you solve these 4 papers. You solve these 4 papers under exam conditions. 4 papers under exam conditions. What are these 4 papers? May 23, May 22, December 21 and November 20. Please solve these 4 exam papers. Write theory also. Write it in the manner in which you will write in exam. Okay, use calculator. Don't solve half and leave the question. Please solve fully. Write steps, because it is very, very important in papers like FR and SFM that you write steps. You get marks only for the steps. Okay, so if you do these 3 exercises plus this exercise, which is your 4 exam papers, past 4 exam papers which I am suggesting, I can assure you, you will succeed extremely well in the exams. So what are the things? SFM practical questions compiler, SFM formula sheet, so that you create your last day revision notes. Then T290, which is for your theory, where I've given clearly what are the important questions. And last 4, not the immediate 4, but there are 4 question papers which I've suggested that you solve in exam conditions. Okay friends, so this is what I had. Now this is a broader strategy. So a lot of people have said, sir, can you fine tune this strategy for me? What do you mean fine tune? See, when you say fine tune strategy, what people are actually expecting is, day 1, what am I supposed to do? Day 10, what am I supposed to do? Okay, day 30, what am I supposed to do? See, one thing friends, I will not go so granular. The reason is, for each student, the process is different. Some study in the morning, some study in the afternoon, some study in the night. Some study, continuously, some study one chapter on one day, other chapter on another day. So I cannot decide what your tactical plan is. Okay, strategy means broader. Tactical means operational, right? Remember the financial policy and corporate strategy chapter 1. The corporate HU or the senior level management talks about strategy, broad direction. The operational management or line management talks about day-to-day operations. So you have to make that distinction. This is top level. This is implementation. I am not going to get into specifics of implementation, but I'll give you broad directions. What are my directions? My directions are study daily. Okay. Some of you may be early morning people, some of you may be night people. Okay. I don't know which way you are, it is up to you. But my suggestion is start with SFM and FR in the morning. When fresh. Okay, don't start with your auditing and law and theory early morning or first thing in the day. See, if that is something that works for you, it is okay. By design, by speaking to so many students and people over the years, I have realized, start with a practical subject early in the morning. You are full of energy, you are fresh, and you'll be very, very keen intent to do something. And you do this for at least for the first 5-6 days. Okay. Then you'll fall into a pattern. Then you can change, move to theory subjects in the morning. Okay. Basically, you are interchanging. First, start with FR SFM, which are core or beginning, the first, it is like the opener, right? In a cricket match, T20 or a ODI or a test match, whatever it is, opener is a very, very important person. Even opening bowler or opening batsman, both are very important. Typically, you have good people, right? These two subjects for you are the first two papers. So, your opening has to be very good. You have to open with a crack. I mean, you have to go and really make an impact in these two papers. For that to happen, you should be very, very confident of those papers. For that, please study them in the morning. In the first hour or first 2-3 hours, you study. After some time, once you fit into a pattern or fall into a pattern, or you're able to, you're in the groove, you're in the zone, right? Then you can start moving to theory subjects. But my suggestion, if you're writing one groups or two groups, if you're writing two groups, then if you're writing two groups, if you're writing one group, in both the cases, okay, go through formulae every day in both the cases and make LDR now only as you go through. Okay, in both the cases. If you are studying one group, then you have slightly more time. In this case, you can solve all this 215 plus 4 papers. If you are studying for two groups, my suggestion, solve these 4 papers, because I presume that you have already finished a large part of your revision, because you have 8 papers. You would not be starting today in August or September all for 8 papers, no? You would have started this 4 months ago. So my suggestion, write these 4 papers. If you're writing one group, or if you are, if you have a lot of time, then do these 215 questions and 4 papers. Otherwise, go through these 4 papers. This is counterintuitive. I am not asking you to study my questions. I am asking you to solve those 4 papers. The reason is, if you solve those papers, you will exactly know what you are lacking or what you have, what you don't have. Then you can come back and go through my practical compiler. Right. Then in both the cases, take T290 help. Go through all important questions and past exam questions. Specifically, the first 5 or 6 chapters which I highlighted in that compiler. Okay. So, my dear friends, this is a more tactical plan. I will not go into day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute kind of plans. You are in CA final. You are smart enough to figure out such kind of plans for yourself. I cannot make a plan like that for everyone. But I can definitely give you guidance on how you should make one. This is what this is. So, I have given you broad strategy, I have given you operating strategy, both of them I have given you. Now, it is up to you, and please stay motivated. Please go for morning walk or evening walk. Please have spare time. Don't study 20 hours, 15 hours a day. That doesn't work. Study 8 to 10 hours. Have enough breaks. Drink water. Don't fall sick. Okay, don't fall sick. There are a bunch of diseases going around in the country like conjunctivitis and all that, or sore throat and all that. Don't fall sick. Study well and prepare well and create your own last day revision note so that you can study extremely well for the 1.5 day before the exam. Okay, so this is the suggestion. Please try and see if you can download these: compiler, formula sheet, T290, and of course these 4 question papers. And please do subscribe to our channel, follow our channel, and share with your friends our channel, and of course also share all these 3 documents what I've shared with you with your friends, so that everybody can benefit, everybody can succeed, so that all of you may have great and phenomenal careers and life ahead.